This is the 9th in a series of presentations about the 2020 Visions project. I'm Maurice Thorogood, Project Director. Today I'm with Paddy Gormley, the writer. If you've been following this series, you'll already be familiar with the characters of the play and something of its long history, including the reading of an early version at the Bridewell Theatre in London in 2002. Today we're talking about our first meeting in 2015 to discuss the script.
After the Bridewell Theatre reading, I put the script away in a bottom drawer. I knew the play had considerable merit, and I continued to hope that its day would come. But the audience feedback from that reading had made me more aware than ever about the problems with the play. And the plain truth was that I didn't know how to deal with them.
So 13 years later, you showed me the original script and told me you hadn't looked at it again since 2002. But I also remember you saying that you had some new ideas even so.
I was confident that I'd solved, at least in mind, the problems that had seemed so intractable all those years ago. And the magic year 2020 was drawing closer. And I realised Alec could be 80. He could be there, on the stage. Several people at the Bridewell reading had said they wanted to see Alec's play. As I said previously, Alec 60 was too close to the action to give us a proper account of Alec's story in the year 2000. Alec 80, by contrast, had had plenty of time to reflect on his life. So he would make a compelling new character, probably different from the other Alecs, and he would be able to make sense of it.
Well, at least there was never any pretense between us. That was the best thing about it. She knew I'd been searching for her, and she knew what I wanted from her, just as well as she knew what she wanted from me. And she was happy to pay for the privilege of getting it. But it was a bad bargain. Making bargains was never my strong suit, that's for sure.
In that extract, Alec 80 was played by Andrew Loudon.
And of course, you'd also conceived the idea of Alec 80's carer.
Yes, and that she would be called Roz, as a lasting tribute to Rosalind Adler and Peter Kenny and Kirsty Bennett, who did everything they possibly could to make this play fly when it first came around. I imagined there'd be short scenes between Roz and Alec 80, so that the female lead would have a chance to achieve any character changes without the need for the fateful voiceovers in blackout that had dogged the play in the old days. Remember, this is before you became involved, Maurice, so I just worked it out in my mind. I remember you asking me to print the scenes individually so that you could juggle them around.
The three narratives were interwoven in your original script, but I wasn't sure about the order you had chosen.
I returned the scenes to the order in which they had been written. 1960 story, then 1980, and finally 2000. That was the only way I could get the big story straight in my mind as I was writing the play.
Ah, right. Understand.
How did you do that?
Before I became an actor, I was a film editor, and I'm now very fortunate to be able to put those two crafts together. When we were making documentaries at Southern Television, ITN and the BBC, you would create different reels. A reel would contain one particular story, and then there would be the interview reels, there would be the voiceover reels. And so you would collect all this material and then think, how is it going to be compiled? I need a good, strong opening. Ah, yes, that statement that was said in the interview, we could use that. And when we look at the end of the movie, there's a wonderful shot in the sequence in the market. We could use that. So now I've got a beginning and I've got an end. Now what I have to do is build this story up. Because when you shoot a documentary, very often you have no idea how it's going together. It's not storyboarded in the way that a drama is storyboarded, and the movie is made in the cutting room by the film editor. That is the skill I use to put all your scenes together. So I very soon found a way of ensuring that the audience would be able to understand Alec's story at a first hearing without sacrificing, and this is important, the fun of time travel, which is such a beautiful, lovely feature of your play. Paddy Gormley and I have been remembering our first meeting to discuss the script of 2020 Visions. Tune in next week to hear how we connected the scenes. Our crowdfunding
still continuing. It's a very exciting time for us, and I hope you're with us in this initiative. All you've got to do is to go to 2020.productions, and it's all there. Thank you. Out there in this huge world is something called twittering or something. Is that what it is? Tweet. That's the word. Tweet. Let me explain. You can follow us on Twitter at blog2020visions. Was that right?
I think so.